pull up OTRI here because I want to talk a little bit about what's happening here. The tender rejection data is really interesting. Look at that peak. That, my friend, I didn't see this. That, my friend, could be the ELP. Now, it's also could be July 4th run up, some of that. But do you know what's happening yesterday?
Tell me.
The English proficiency requirement went into effect yesterday.
You don't think this is July 4th?
It's the July 4th, but I also, looking for data,
I
mean, it does follow a historical pattern, but I think what's interesting is, does this English mandate, the fact that there is a test? But what's interesting about this is the ELP mandate's coming into effect, and it basically is the English language proficiency exam, where the DOT has instructed the states, the state examiners, the weigh station officers, the state troopers, that they have an English proficiency. If they suspect, it's subjective, but if they suspect that a driver is not proficient in English, that they have a test. And this test basically is something that the officers can give a driver. And if a driver fails to demonstrate proficiency, he can put out of service. And I'll tell you why this matters, Zach, is for those that don't understand the trucking industry very well, or understand the importance of your out-of-service incidents or your safer scores, is that this information, when you have out-of-service violations, it ends up showing up in your record. It's like having a speeding ticket but worse, because you're you're put out of commission, right?
Right.
And so if you're a fleet and you have a out-of-service violation, this stuff is recorded on your record. And what's interesting about that is that shows up in your insurance rates. It also shows shippers will not book you if you have a lot of out-of-service violations. So if we start seeing a lot of fleets put out of service on a frequent basis, then we may end up in a situation where, and so if you're a big trucking fleet, if you're one of the big sort of enterprise fleets or mega carriers, as people like to call them, and you've been hiring people who aren't English proficient, you have to now make a different decision, because if you hire those folks who aren't proficient in English, a couple things could happen. You could get an out-of-service violation. It's on your record. That really matters to insurance companies. You could end up, your freight could be stranded in transit. Well, then now you have a security problem.
Right.
The driver can't haul the freight. What happens if it's a load of electronics? There's a lot of issues here that I actually think this may be the biggest impact to the domestic freight market that we've seen in some time.